Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until the sequel Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is today in 96 days. And today I'm not alone, like I said. I was gonna have some other Breath of the Wild speedrunners on today. I have Jodan here. What's up, Jodan?
Hello. Hi.
Hello. Jodan is a Breath of the Wild speedrunner, challenge runner, and overall internet funny man. And I thought maybe I'll ask him how he got into Breath of the Wild. I'm going to be doing this with several speedrunners this week. I'll also have on Player 5 and Binks, who's another 100% speedrunner. But yeah, Jodan, let me know. Why do you play this game? Why do you do this to yourself?
Well, me and this game have a love-hate relationship.
Right.
Like casually, I enjoy this game up to a certain point, and then I stopped playing it entirely because it completely lost me at some point. But
And was this like early on? Like, did you play it at the release area or like later?
I played as soon as it came out.
Right.
Like, I actually got the game 2 days early, and I was staring at it for 2 days until my Switch came in the mail.
I see.
But yeah, I played it on release. Like, I was there when they were trying to find every Korok. Not every Korok was found by the time I beat the game.
Damn, okay, I feel like I missed out on that, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it was like a whole week of people trying to cooperate and find the rest of the Koroks of the game. It was pretty cool, actually. But yeah, I guess start spearing the game like what, beginning of 2020 or end of 2019, around
Right.
GDQ. You're part of the reason why I really got pushed into spearing the game.
Because we both did Odyssey, right?
Yeah, we both came from that game, Odyssey. But yeah, GDQ really pushed me into doing it, with showing me all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And then I just kind of fell into it from there.
Yeah, and if you don't know, GDQ is basically, I talked about GDQ a couple times on this channel before. It's basically this big speedrunning event, speedrunner gathering where people speedrun for charity. And that is usually where the community meets up.
Yeah, so basically we were all in a giant room. And I was like doing an Odyssey race, Super Mario Odyssey race. And then in the corner of my eye, I see LimQ doing some random, I don't even know what you're doing. I think I'm just all trying to practice.
Probably. At the time.
Look how thick this is. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. And walks across a wall. Whoa.
Yeah, this is like when Breath of the Wild speedrunning kind of got its big like blow up, I guess at the start of the pandemic, because all of the tricks were found, like what you see in runs now. Well, wind bombs were found like around that time later then. And then there was like bullet time bounces, shield clips. And everybody realized, oh wait, this is actually a fun speedrun, because when things started at first, it was actually kind of lame.
Yeah. Yeah, all Zelda games start out pretty lame speedrunning wise until there's actual stuff found and a bunch of glitches. So I assume at some point with Tears of the Kingdom it would be the same way.
Probably, even though I do feel like, we'll talk about Tears of the Kingdom a bit later, I do feel like it's probably going to be a little bit faster just because of how much speedrunning has grown and how much more interest there is around like finding these glitches straight away. But we'll talk about that later. One thing I did want to say, other than you speedrunning, there's this challenge you did that people ask me on my stream sometimes, or even refer to on these YouTube videos, of trying to beat the entire game 100% without ever taking damage. Why and how?
Why? I wanted to prove that I could do it.
Right.
There are plenty of people in the world that have told me, no, there's no way you could do that. No way. No, or you don't have the skill set to be able to do this. I'm like, what? No, but it can't be that hard. Well, I took 6 months of my life to do it, but I ended up doing it, and I proved all these people wrong, and it just felt good at the end of the day. I didn't really do it. I only did it mostly because people told me I couldn't do it.
Right, and while that's definitely a GigaChad move, now in retrospective, would you say it was worth it?
Yes, I would say it's worth it just because of I got a cool YouTube video out of it.
True, cool YouTube video, and I feel like it's like some sort of legacy as well, where people are like, oh, that's the guy that beats 100% of the game without taking damage.
It does make me happy that people still bring it up. I didn't really think it'd be that big of a deal, honestly, at the end of the day. But
Right. I feel like the concept of it is just something like you said, even that people you knew said this sounds like so impossible with how big the game is and how much you have to do. If you don't know, 100% damageless in this case means following like the speed running rule set, which means to do basically everything. Like in this playthrough, you might not notice, Jordan, I'm basically just focusing on getting the map completion up to 100%, so getting all of the Koroks, and I technically don't even have to do the shrines, but in the 100% speedrun, you have to like finish the shrines, get all the key items, do all the quests, etc.
Yeah, all the shrine quests, side quests, 100% map completion, Koroks, everything. Everything besides chests and stuff.
And what would you say was like the hardest parts? I've definitely seen some clips of the most stupid things happening, ending one of your runs, but even those aside, what was like the hardest, scariest parts about completing one of those runs?
Hardest, scariest part was going to Realm of Uncertainty.
Okay.
For sure. Like, okay, I'm used to just face planting into the wall here and taking like a heart of damage. How will I not do that this time?
Yeah.
Because I've never not taken damage here.
True.
It's just like small situations like that where you wouldn't really think about. Like you got like a Boko threw a rock at you in a corner. Always throws the same rock in the same direction where you're coming from. Always happens. Now you have to actually look out for that.
True.
You have to assume that's going to happen and going around it. I would take complete 180 routes just if I thought the slightest thing was going to happen. Like next to Shivanir, the Twin Peak shrines.
Yeah.
Like I lost a few runs there just because at nighttime
the Star Goblin would like spawn.
Yeah, you get bombarded. And you're not really thinking about it. You're thinking about obviously they're gonna spawn in front of you, but you're not like, oh, who cares? Like I'll just bomb right past them. There wasn't any of that stuff.
I'm thinking specifically also about these like random Yiga encounters. Would that ever be like a problem?
It was like once or twice. Like I probably lost a few runs to them, but I was in the air most of the time.
Oh yeah, I just got one. So. Let's see if I'm going to take damage. But that's another thing. Obviously, there is thankfully some tools we can use to make that a little bit easier by basically spending most of the run in the air. But that aside, it's still an absolutely ridiculous accomplishment, in my opinion. But with that I do, because I feel like I'm making too much progress or just chatting. I need to like have enough content left for 95 days. I do also want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom a little bit. I don't know if you already have plans to 100% Tears of the Kingdom without dealing damage, taking damage, or any other plans, and what you just expect from the game in general. Like I feel like it sounds weird for me to ask you this, because whenever I get asked this on stream, somebody's like, are you excited for Tears of the Kingdom? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why would I not be excited? I made like 100 videos every day, like talking about how excited I'm about the game. I talk about it every day. But then again, sometimes I think about it. I guess it's a fair question because of how much we played this game. I'm sure there's some people that are like, oh, I can't see it anymore. I'm not even excited for Tears of the Kingdom. But how do you feel about that?
I guess on the opposite side of the spectrum, I'm pretty neutral. Like, if it gets delayed like years, I'm like okay with waiting almost.
Okay.
So it's just like it's mostly due to like worry about the game and if it will be like a complete departure from Breath of the Wild. Like, there's a part of my brain thinking that it is just gonna basically be Breath of the Wild 2, like same type of stuff, just more shrines, more Koroks, or all that, and I don't want that. No. I want them to change it completely, honestly.
And honestly, at this one, would be surprised if it was just like that, because I feel like it's such a popular opinion. But I still have those same concerns. That's why I'd really want to see another trailer to get like, because that's always my answer. Like, I'm obviously excited for the potential, but to really be excited for the game, I need to see like one other trailer that shows me more than just like Sky Islands. Because right now it just seems like, yeah, a big DLC to Breath of the Wild, which I would be happy with for a couple of months. Like, I feel like most Breath of the Wild players would be like, oh cool, more of my favorite game. But I also, I want new systems, new enemies, new areas. I don't just want Sky Islands. Maybe there's like underwater, underground, whatever they could do. But I agree. I think the potential is definitely there, but I always try to like push people's like expectations down a little bit, because at the end of the day, I think that I made a video about this at the very beginning of the channel. There's basically no way to me that Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be better than Breath of the Wild. Like, it might be a better Breath of the Wild with more systems and more fun, but I feel like doing what this game did for gaming, I can not see Tears of the Kingdom doing, like, ever.
Unlike a fundamental aspect,
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild would change a lot, and Tears of the Kingdom absolutely would not do something like that. I don't think.
Yeah, I
With
highly doubt
games
it.
like Elden Ring and stuff, but I'm mostly looking forward to see if they can really combine a traditional Zelda like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask with Breath of the Wild, you know? Because we did have like somewhat dungeons in this game, but nothing on the scale of the other games.
Also, I'm sharing my screen, so you can probably see this gameplay right now. I'm just like imagining trying to do a Korok scenario like this without taking damage, where it's like a double Octorok bombarding you, trying to get this this Korok seed here. This might be a good instance to show you how tricky it could be to 100% this game without taking damage.
Yeah, you also can't do any drown falls, so you actually have to get out of there afterwards. So you would, like in this draft, I would just kill the Octoroks, honestly.
But yeah, I agree with what you said. Maybe they'll be able to make that combination happen. I hope so, but we'll see. At the end of the day, most people are saying, which take it with a grain of salt, everybody's like direct next week. So even though I'll always temper my expectations because it's Nintendo, maybe we get some more answers about that. But outside of the casual view to the game, do you already have any content speedrunning plans, even if you're neutral to the game? Is there something you're already like, oh, this is what I want to do? Like me, for example, I want to definitely be there for the beginning of the game's any percent speedrun, because I'm just really into like these early like routes and route changes. Like every day there's like a new trick. I don't know if you have like any thoughts about that already.
Yeah, I think content creation at first is gonna be in my own head it's gonna be there's gonna be so much happening.
Right.
There's gonna be so many people making videos about the game. There's gonna be so many people trying to figure out stuff about the game, and I'm thinking like I'm gonna sit back, do what I've done before, and just see how it progresses. Like I'm gonna speedrun the game most likely. I'm gonna try probably doing damageless just because
people like damageless. You might like damageless.
People like damageless, and it's a good break from speedrunning. I will admit, like it was
right.
The 6 months I was doing damageless was like, oh, I don't have to worry about going fast. I could just take my time and do this thing. But
yeah, I feel like for early content, the stuff that will do really well is also a lot of the like casual content damageless. Like if you think about it, the Trial of the Sword, if you made like an early video about doing that damageless back in the day, there would have been a lot of eyes on that. So just getting good at the game, even outside of speedrunning, is definitely something I'll try. Even from a casual perspective, while still trying to be involved with the speed running side, which obviously none of us know if it's going to be as good as this game, because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure you're probably interested in speedrunning for the same reasons I am. At least that's my assumption. But if there wasn't the movement that there is in this game, I wouldn't be interested in speedrunning it. Like I came from speedrunning Odyssey, which is like a movement, like hyper movement game. And if it was just running around, I don't know, using magnesis and taking optimal like running lines, I would not be interested. But given the nature of Tears of the Kingdom, even what we've already seen with like gliding around, and knowing that the physics engine, at least to an extent, seems to be intact, I feel like there's at least going to be some fun stuff.
Like when this game first came out, and when I was watching speedruns of it, it was the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life.
For sure.
I will be honest. So I'm probably gonna like not get so seriously into speedrunning the game until like some crazy movement stuff or some crazy just glitches in general are found, because speedrunning a Zelda game, I don't know if everyone agrees, but I like watching them just because of the glitches and the movement and the crazy
I can
stuff.
definitely tell you not everyone agrees, but I agree with you.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll just have to, I guess, wait and see. Maybe stuff will be found within the first month or two. Probably not, but maybe it could be an Elden Ring situation. Where
I feel like it will be an Elden Ring. I feel like it will be an Elden Ring situation. Like I feel like the any percent speedrun will progress really fast,
I hope it
and
doesn't, because
I hope it doesn't either, and my hopes are still that when it comes to speedrunning, we'll have a more... I honestly hope we have a more linear game with Tears of the Kingdom. I always said, like, one way that they could pull that off is, like, for example, let's say these tiers are actually abilities that you unlock, and you can only access certain areas of the islands or map after getting them, which... I wouldn't really, like, maybe it might restrict, like, challenge runs a little bit and stuff like that, but for speedrunning, it sets us up to have, like, cool sequence breaks, right? To, like, reach areas early and, like, slowly break the game down like that. If it was completely open again and we could just, like, play the tutorial and then try to beat the boss as fast as possible, I feel like that would be optimized quite quickly.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I definitely think there's plenty of stuff they can do. I think what they did with the 3DS game, what was the Link Between Worlds, was pretty good. Where you still have to do the dungeons, but you can tackle them in any order and stuff.
Right.
I like being I like the buildup of dungeons a lot in Zelda games, where you go from these dingy small caves to bigger temples, finally to a castle.
Right.
Cannon on the top of the roof. It's raining. It's like an epic final battle. I like stuff like that. And so when I played Breath of the Wild the first time, I wouldn't lie, I was pretty disappointed in that giant.
True. I mean, me too. My favorite Zelda game before was like Twilight Princess, where the final fight is like basically just like that. Like you break into this huge castle and there's like an epic 1v1 sword fight show off like at the end. And hopefully we'll get something similar to that. I do like that idea. I feel like I haven't really... That's obviously what they did with this game, just that you didn't have to do the dungeons. Like you could do the dungeons in any order you wanted. They could just be as simple as being like, oh yeah, you actually have to do them, which I feel like there's... Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, it's like a double-edged sword. People would be annoyed because it takes away freedom or whatever, and the challenge from just going to the final boss. But I feel like for speedrunning, it could make for a more interesting speedrun. But then again, you can always add restrictions later, like maybe we'll have another... I mean, we'll definitely have another 100% run. Who knows if it's gonna be as long. But yeah. While I'm getting attacked here by Yigas and almost dying, I'm at 61.8% right now. I've already made too much progress for today, so I'm probably gonna end my recording. But speaking of 100%, I think you just did a run, because Jodan also does stream the game actively still. How's the run going?
Halfway into a run, I'm 30 minutes behind Bings.
30 minutes behind Bings, which is the world record still, right?
Yeah. So for my first run back in over a year, pretty good so far, I would assume.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, I hope I can get a good PB. So.
Alright, if you want to watch Jodan potentially get the world record in Hundo soon, I'll post Jodan's Twitch channel in the pinned comment of this video. And I will be back with another video tomorrow. Don't think I'll have someone on tomorrow. It's probably just going to be me. And then the next day we'll have someone on again. But thank you, Jodan, for hanging out, talking about these video games.
Yes, love video games.
I love video games too. And I'll see you guys on this channel tomorrow when there's only 95 days left until Tears of the Kingdom.